Hey, what's up guys? It's Ivan, and in this video I'm going to show you a complete A to Z TikTok ads tutorial. Everything you need to know about TikTok ads. Now, this is actually a part of my online marketing blueprint training course, which you can get free starter access to at ivanmana.com. And in this video, we're going to start off by going over what TikTok ads are, what they look like, and more importantly, whether they're right for you. We're then going to get into conversion tracking because you cannot hit a target you can't see. Super important. We're going to get into the campaign creation and setup. And last but not least, I'm going to show you how to create remarketing audiences so that you can retarget the people who visited your website via TikTok ads. That said, let's get straight into it.
All right, so let's talk about the next big traffic source giant, and that is TikTok, which might even overcome Facebook ads and the other social media platforms in the upcoming years, as I'm going to show you in the stats in this video. So as always, I'm first going to show you what the ads look like, and then we're gonna go in and determine if TikTok ads is right for you. So what did TikTok ads look like? Well, they look like this. You might see an ad playing. This one's a video ad. It'll have the button skip ad. And then you can see the rest of the video and it just says sponsored right over there. That's how you know it's an ad. So same thing with everything else here. You have this video and it says sponsored. You come over here, you have these ads as well, sponsored. So that's what TikTok ads look like. They're under the For You section for anybody that has used TikTok. Me, not so much, but for anybody that knows how to use it, if you go to the For You section and you scroll, you will see eventually some ads that say sponsored. So that's what they look like. Now, question is, are TikTok ads right for you? Who are they for? So unlike LinkedIn ads, which is great for B2B services and products, TikTok ads doesn't have a specialty. You could be selling B2B, you could be selling business to consumer, whatever you want to sell, TikTok ads is great for it. The only downside is that you do need a very catchy and engaging video. So TikTok ads is for you if you want to sell something and if you can create a very catchy and engaging video for it. There are, of course, different tools you can use for that goal. You can also hire freelancers to create a video for you, but in general, that's the only requirement. The demographic of TikTok ad users is also much younger, with the majority being ages 18 to 24. So let's now look at some of the stats to support our claim of whether TikTok is a good network to promote on or not. So first of all, I just wanted to share with you why your video has to be very engaging. Because with some studies here, after about 20 minutes on TikTok, users experienced a significant decrease in attention span and working memory. So over here, you can see a bunch of different comments and forum posts saying anyone else feel that TikTok has reduced the attention span. And why is that the case? Because the videos are so much shorter, they change every half a second. You have one clip half a second and then something totally different another second. So I personally can't watch TikTok, absolutely not for me, but try telling that to the new generation, right? That's what they're on, and so you gotta just catch the wave, and if you want to be selling to especially that younger demographic, if not now, eventually you will absolutely have to promote on TikTok, unless something else comes up. So just to look at some of the stats, here we have the demographics in 2023. As you can see, the vast majority are the youngins. And the crazy thing about this is, right, you're just looking at this and saying, okay, cool, right? So 37%. The problem with this is that when these guys become parents, guess what they're going to be teaching their kids to use? They're not going to be telling them to use YouTube. They're going to be telling them to use TikTok for everything, right? So these numbers are really going to keep going up and up. These 18 to 24-year-olds are going to shift over to this group and then this group and then this group until this group, 55 plus, is going to be the 37%. Probably even more by that time. And then it's going to be more and more for these upcoming groups as well, okay? So basically this is the future, is what I'm trying to say. So over here you can see, for example, the rapid rise of TikTok. So this shows the number of active users in millions for the select network. So TikTok, as you can see here in black, in 2022 is just second place, just below Facebook. And frankly, I think the growth is going to be much higher. I don't think it's going to be like a straight line like this. I think it's going to reach Facebook just in the next 10 years. I think it's going to overrun Facebook. And Facebook, I don't think the growth is going to be so high here either. I think it's really stagnating. I think it's going to be more of a straight line, same as with all these other networks. Instagram, WeChat, I don't even know what that is, Snapchat, so on and so forth. Okay, so huge potential here with TikTok. Here you have the TikTok engagement going up. So average monthly hours spent per user. TikTok by far beats everybody else. We have this chart again. So this is daily minutes. Hold up, is that the same one? No, right. So this is the daily minutes. So how many daily minutes are used on TikTok? So the estimation is that TikTok will beat Facebook here in 2025. In 2024, super close. Okay. And then some of the other statistics are that 64% of Gen Z users use TikTok as a search engine. Wow. I don't know how bewildering that may sound to you. To me, it absolutely is bewildering. There's just no way in heck I'm going to use TikTok really for anything, let alone a search engine. I'm still going to use Google, ChatGPT now, other than Google. If I'm going to switch gears, it's going to be to ChatGPT, but not TikTok. There's just no way. But apparently, the Gen Z users prefer TikTok as a search engine. So take it as you will. There's a bunch of different stats for everything online, but the point is that Gen Z users are consuming TikTok at a much greater rate than anybody else. And that is the future, fortunately or unfortunately. TikTok joins Google as the new search engine. So here we have 17%. I don't know what these percentages mean. It really doesn't say. The article doesn't specify, but I'm assuming 91% of the search engine landscape, because Google occupies about 91%, right? Then you have YouTube 39%, so I'm guessing TikTok occupies 17% now of the total searches in the world, maybe something like that. But regardless, again, point is it's catching up. It's really catching up. And then here, I'm gonna link you this article. Gen Z is using TikTok as a search engine, the rise of a new search platform. So curious what this is gonna look like in the next 5 to 10 years, but regardless, right now it's popular. Catch the wave right now while you can. So that's what this is. So if you can create video content that can engage these 18 to 24-year-olds and moving on to the next group, 25-year-olds to 34-year-olds, if you can engage them with your highly engaging video, TikTok could be right for anybody, okay? So hopefully that gives you a better idea of what TikTok is and if it's right for you. In the next few videos, we're going to once again come in there and create our account, create our conversion tracking, create our audiences, and of course, create our campaign. All right, so if we've determined that TikTok ads is right for us, let's come in here and create the account. So we're gonna go to go.ivanmana.com/TikTok ads. And this is my affiliate link. However, there is a promotion going on. So whenever you use my link, there will be some sort of special discount or offer. And in this case, it's going to be when you spend $30, TikTok gives you $20. When you spend $100, TikTok gives you $100 extra of credit. So why not? So we're going to click on claim offer and let's just enter in our email. So it was ivan@dynamicgrowthagency.com. I'm going to enter a password and then I'm just going to close out of that, but we do need to agree to the terms. We'll click on continue and we're going to create a brand new account here with this email. Same shape. And I'm just going to open up the email here for our website and I'm going to confirm this account. All right, and so here we have the code. Let's just come in here and copy that. Come back here, verify the email. Now, by the way, I forgot to mention TikTok ads isn't available in every country. So there will be a list of countries in which you can open it, but if you can't, then don't worry about it. They will be adding new countries as they go. They have already added some countries since the last time I made a TikTok ads video. So I'm just gonna link the list of countries that you can open a TikTok ads account right now below this video. So if you're not one of these countries, you can't open an account right now, but you might in the near future. So let's just come in here and fill in the details. Let's say if there's anything to do with marketing. Okay, what options do they have? Not e-commerce, not education, services. Okay, let's say advertising, that works. Business name, Dynamic Growth Agency. Let's enter the company website. Control C, I'm gonna enter my phone number. And we can click here to customize the account more with the billing country, the time zone, the currency. So I'm gonna come in here and enter this country as Canada, currency Canadian, and that is the right time. So we're gonna click yes, we're gonna click on get started, and welcome to your TikTok ads account. That's all there is to it. So yes, we want to agree to all these terms, and we're gonna exit this process right now because we first have to set up, we first have to set up conversion tracking, and then we're gonna come back and create our campaign. So let's not jump ahead over here. And I just wanted to show you one thing here before we move on and start setting up the tracking. Close out of all these different little annoying tabs. So here we have our campaign, Dynamic Growth Agency, or our account name rather, and the account number. So if you ever need to share your account ID with anybody, this is the number, okay? Now, why this comes in handy is because you can come in here you can click on Business Center. So if you are just promoting your own content, your own brand, you just have your own business and that is all you'll be doing, you don't need to do anything else here, okay? You're done. But if you want that same layout as you saw in the Facebook for Business, where basically you could add multiple ad accounts, you could add multiple Facebook pages, so it's kind of like a manager account, right? This is perfect if you are an agency and you want to manage others' accounts, then you need to set up the Business Center. So that's the same thing as the Facebook Business Center. So let me just quickly show you how to do that. You're just going to fill in some blanks and then everything is going to be available for you here. We really don't need it because we're just promoting our business, but I just want to show you in case you do want to set that up. So I'm an advertiser, or if you are an agency, you can say I'm an agency. And then let's see if we can use our existing account. Okay, so it has to be approved before we can do that. That's fine. So I'm going to come in here. I'm going to enter the details, company name, Dynamic Growth Agency. Might not be available. Yeah, that's fine. Currency, Toronto time, everything looks good. Let's click on create. And we need to enable two-step verification. I'm just going to say not now, but of course you can. And welcome to your Business Center account. So let's close out of all this stuff. So here you can see the layout is going to be the same as with Facebook, where you have your advertiser accounts, you have your pixels, you have your members, your partners, the people that you can add. So what you can do is you can go into advertiser accounts if you do want to manage your account from here. And then you can say industry again. We said advertising, name of person, ivanmana. I'm going to enter my number here. Then we'll just hit out, hit submit. And now we'll be able to add this account number here for us. So we're gonna just request access. We don't need to create new. So if you want to go this route, then we can come back in here. Oops, just click it once. Copy that, Control C. We're gonna give ourselves full access, full admin access. We're gonna paste that account, click somewhere else. And then that is the account. We're gonna request, and it should be added right away because we are the owner. So TikTok detects that we're the owner. And there you go. Now we do need to add members. So same as with Facebook, we need to select ourselves and then say admin. And that way we'll be able to log into this account. Go to Ads Manager for this account. And then we can add new accounts, right? So add advertiser account, we can create new, add more access. So if that's the route you want to go, if you're an agency or if you want to help others with their accounts or maybe something in the future, you can always come back in here and set this up. For us, we don't need this. We just need our advertising account. So this is going to be our home for the next few lessons. And as far as I can tell, that is all. Let's check our email. We got an email here. Business Center has been approved. Excellent. And what else? Yeah, verify phone number. Let's look at the messages here. Verify phone number again, add a phone number. Okay, so yeah, so that's fine. Everything else is good. And I'm going to see you guys in the next lesson as we start setting up our conversion tracking before we start creating our campaign. All right, so as always, before we start creating the campaigns, we need to set up the conversion tracking. So have your handy dandy Google Tag Manager open, and this time I came prepared and I opened up the purchase thank you page, purchase checkout page, and the thank you leads page. Actually, I didn't open the purchase page, but that's because we will have to get there manually and you will know why soon. So let's click on tools over here. Let's go to events to set up our pixel, and TikTok is going to make it super, super easy for us, honestly easier than any other network, similar to the Facebook events builder. And we're going to be using that to quickly build out our conversions here. So I'm just going to come in here and just verify my email, and I'm going to see you on the next page. All right, so I've verified it. So now we can come in here and start creating the pixels. So we're just going to follow the steps, and TikTok makes it super, super easy, probably the easiest out of all the different platforms that we've worked with. So definitely awesome, awesome and easy stuff here. So we're going to copy this. Oops, let's come back here. Paste that, click next. We're just gonna follow the steps. We're gonna use the partner integration. We're gonna let TikTok do everything for us. We're gonna select Google Tag Manager. We're gonna click next. Don't worry about the server side. We do need, again, developer resources, something I can cover and add to the lesson if there's enough demand. If you guys are actually using this and you wanna set it up, definitely something I can add. But this does require more sophisticated and complicated developer tools, as well as additional payment. You will have to pay for Google Cloud services. So we're just going to go with the browser side data connection. We'll click next. This should be enough for 90% of the tracking. So Google Tag Manager, we're going to say next. We're going to connect the two. And once again, we're going to let TikTok do everything for us. We're going to give them permission. Scroll down, click continue. We're going to confirm that all of those accounts do indeed belong under our email. We're going to click next. Then we're going to enter a pixel name. So this one, let's call it Dynamic Growth Agency. Let's say pixel. And then let's come down, hit next. And now we want to select that container. So under account, I'm going to select Dynamic Growth Agency. That's the right container, and that's the default workspace. So we're good here. Let's click next. And we're going to set this up with Event Builder. So we don't have to do anything inside of Google Tag Manager, guys. Everything will be properly working with just this Event Builder. I'm going to show you how to do it. Super easy to do. TikTok will add the Google Tag Manager code on our site, but then that is all we need. Everything else we're going to do with the Event Builder. So we're just going to confirm this is the pixel code that they're going to add automatically to our Google Tag Manager. We're going to hit publish, and then we're going to set up the events, and that is all. We don't have to do a single other thing. We don't have to come in there and start adding all of these different events inside of our tag manager. So we're going to enable automatic advanced matching, but once again, we're going to need to use a data layer to actually implement it. So we're going to enable it for now, and then later on in an upcoming lesson, we'll just have to do some changes inside Google Tag Manager and we'll be good to go. So we're going to enable all of this, all these other details. Why not? More information, the more the better. And let's just come back in here. Let's come back into tags and let's refresh. Okay, not found. So that means that they've already added the tag. So let's just refresh the page and then come back here and we should see the TikTok tag here that they've added. Let's just rename it. Let's scroll down. Here it is. So they've added the code. They do have a TikTok ads. If you look under the additional templates, they do have the TikTok pixel tag already set up, but this one's more dynamic and this one is specific for the base code. So this is what we do want to keep here. And this is what it will allow us to set up the events inside of TikTok rather than inside of Google Tag Manager. And we want to do all pages. All of this is good. Everything is good. Okay, we'll hit save. And that's it. Okay, we're done. We don't have to touch Google Tag Manager anymore other than saving this and previewing it. So in fact, the first thing we want to do is just preview it, make sure it works, and then publish it before we come in here and set up the events. Otherwise, it's not going to identify the pixel on the page. So let's just click on any page. It doesn't matter, because our entire website should now have this TikTok pixel. So what happened here? Change the direction. Okay, so TikTok ads base code fired. Boom, that's it. We're good to publish and we don't have to do anything else here. So let's name this TikTok ads base pixel or base code, however you want to call it. Let's click publish. And now we should be able to come in here and let's grab this URL again. Let's confirm the Google Tag Manager has been saved. Go back to workspace. Now we can come back in here and paste that launch event builder. It should now connect because it should now identify that code on the site. And it should show up a little bar here on the left. If not, give it a few moments to register to fully identify that the tag has been added. So I might have to maybe refresh the page or so, just give it a bit of time. All right, so still not working. That's totally fine. Let's click next, and then we'll just come back to it later. So we will be able to test events in real time via our phone, and we do need this Chrome extension. So let's download this extension here so we can test. We're gonna add extension. And I'm just gonna come in here and add it here to the bar at the top. There you go, so we're all set. Let's close out of that. Let's come back into Events Manager. So we're good, let's click next. And let's finish. And then let's come back to the events tag so that we can set up the specific purchase event, initiate checkout, leads, and the phone call click, right? So we want to do all that. So let's do that. Let's click on continue setup now. And we just need to give it a few moments for it to register, to identify our pixel there. So let's try this again. Let's enter our website. All right, so I just had to clear all my cache and cookies for this browser. Pretty annoying, but sometimes what you got to do after you add code to your site. So if that's what you're experiencing, if your pixel isn't being detected, just try an incognito window. And if it works there and not in your main browser, then just reset and delete all the cache and cookies in your current browser. And let me know in the comments if you guys don't know how to do that. I'll be happy to help. So we're going to launch Event Builder again, and this time it should detect the pixels and it should open up our little event code here. So here we can see the pixels firing. It worked in incognito window right away, but for this browser, I had to reset everything. So that's fine. So we're going to be using this option here, the events builder. And this is super easy, makes things just incredibly simple to work with. So we can navigate freely on this site. We can change the site URL as we want to, and this thing will stay with us. And then we just go to every page that we want and we add the specific event. So in this case, for example, we want the phone call, right? So we're going to click on add event. We're going to say button click in this case, and we're going to select which button. Well, this is the clickable button. That's the phone call. Normally it would be this, but this one actually isn't clickable. So in your case, if you have a button with a phone call, or if you have like an icon or a picture or something clickable, then this will work as well. In this case, this one isn't clickable just with the way we built the website. Only this is. So we can just click that. And as you can see here, if you hover over this, nothing happens. But if you hover over this, it changes to that little call thing, right? So whenever this button is clicked, we want that to trigger as an event. So over here, we're going to come in here. Now they don't have a phone call event name. So we're just going to come in here and say contact. That's okay. And then there's no value. Don't worry about currency. Don't worry about the content ID. This is just a phone call. We're not going to worry about that. So we're just going to click on continue. And that's it. So if we go to all events, we've created this phone call event. So whenever anybody clicks on this over here, that's going to register as a conversion in TikTok. That's all. We don't have to do anything else in Google Tag Manager. So now let's go through to the rest of the pages. So over here, for example, we're going to copy that URL. We're going to come back here and paste that URL in here. And now we want to make this as a conversion when somebody lands on this page. So if we go back to all events, we're going to see this event that we created, and we want to add 3 more: purchase, initiate checkout, and lead. So we're going to click on add event. This is going to be a URL visits. We're going to click next. This is going to be a lead. So let's see if we can find something to do with lead, maybe submit form, or let's see if there's anything else. Yeah, so just submit form for this one will do. And then URL contains, and then we're just going to enter this here. So whenever URL contains this, which is this URL, then the submit form conversion will fire. So we don't want to do anything else. Don't worry about content ID, anything. There's no sales here, right? This is just a lead. So we're going to do that, and that's it. Okay, so we got those 2. Now we're going to come back to our main page here. Let's grab that URL, our sales page, supposedly. And we don't want to do anything here, but we do want to register an event for the checkout page, for this page, right? So we're going to grab this URL here, and we're going to add another event for URL visits again. Click next. This one's going to be not complete payment. It's going to be the initiate checkout right here. We're going to enter that URL as long as it contains this. We don't want to include a value again. Nothing's happening here. There's no sale. But then for the purchase page, we will. Okay, so there you go. So now we have 3 events. And now if we come down here and let's just submit payment, and then we're going to grab that thank you page URL. And you could do all this on the Google Tag Manager side instead. So just the same way that we've been doing it for Google Ads and Facebook ads, you could do it that way. But this is the much easier way. But if you have something more complicated, if you want to track a specific button click on a specific page that this event builder does not identify, then you will have to do it the manual way via Google Tag Manager. But for the most part, everything here is good as is. So we're going to add another event. Now this one's going to be a little bit different because we're going to add some details here. So we're going to say, we're going to copy that. We're going to call this the complete payment. We're going to give that the URL. And then we do want a value, right? So the value, what's the value? It's going to be updating. So it's going to be the total. So we're going to select that. It's going to be $39.99. And then whatever value will be there, that's what TikTok ads is going to pick up. For the currency, we want this to be, I believe it's USD or Canadian. I don't remember now. But whatever currency you have, you would just enter that there. Now, if you do have the content ID, so if you set that up, then of course you'll be able to choose it from here, from the URL. It's going to show up in the URL, or it's going to show up on the page. So for example, on the URL, it automatically detects, hey, are any of these your content ID? None of these are our content ID, okay? We don't have that value in our product. But if you do, then you would just look for it, you would enter it, and then it would be dynamically updated for any future product. So we don't have anything here, so we can just, I don't know, we can just use this as the content ID, but in our case, it's not really applicable. For the content type, you can also select whether it's the specific SKU, the content ID, or a group of products. So this is something that you would know if you have an e-commerce store, if you're doing this, if you set up the content ID. If you have no idea what this is, then it most likely doesn't apply to you. Then the currency and the value is more than enough. So we're going to click on confirm, and that's all. That is all. Okay, so this all works. So we have these 4 conversions that we really need to track. We don't need anything else. We're going to click on finish setup. We're going to click on exit now. And that should be all. So we're going to click on next. So now we can test events. Let's go to test events and let's make sure it's working. So you can do this on your phone. That's the first option. Or you can just use the pixel here and just check it. So we've added that. So you can generate the QR code. You're going to click on generate. Sorry, you're going to enter the website URL. Let's come in here. Let's grab let's say just this website, for example, or maybe you want to do the t-shirt one. So let's copy that one. Come back here, you can enter that, generate the code, and then you would just scan the code on your phone. And then you would just go through it on your phone because people are using TikTok on their phones. And then you would check the activity and it will work. It will show up here. If you followed my steps, it will show up properly over here. Alternatively, if you're on the website, as we are now, we can simply just go to the URL, paste that here. We're just going to go through the motions of making sure that it has the pixel event fire. So this one should have one, really. Don't mind this one, metadata automatically detected. That doesn't fire anything. But this one, for example, page view. And then if we click here, now it should fire the initiate checkout pixel. So it should have 3 or maybe even 4 because of those little blue events. So here we have initiate checkout, has all the details. And then if we submit payment, we should see the purchase details with the currency and the value, which should be dynamically updated. By the way, I should have probably made the purchase. Hold up, let me just show you something. Let's go back in here. I want to add that bump offer so that I can show you the difference in the price value. So if we add this, now the total is going to be $49.98. So let's see how that gets reflected in our pixel here. And now we should see 3 or 4. Yeah, so complete payment. And then if we go to pixel code, we should see the currency US, and then we should see the value here, $49.98. As you can see, it's dynamically updated because it simply looked at that value that we said over here, the total, right? And that's all. So the pixel's firing. Again, don't need to do anything in Google Tag Manager. We're done. This is working. If you want to check it again on the phone, you're certainly welcome to do so, but it's not needed. So let's get out of here. And that is it. So now we see the events, and if we click on this pixel, we should be able to see all the events here as well over time. If some of the events don't show up, give it up to 24 hours. So the events have been registered, but it says no recent activity. So you can just come in there, click on it again, and it should work. It should fire. And that's all. That's all we got to do. Congratulations on setting up your conversion tracking. I know it's probably one of the most annoying parts of the marketing is all this tracking and technical stuff, but that is all we have to do here. So in the next video, let's come in there and start setting up our campaigns. And by the way, if you do want to add this pixel to your manager account again, if you come in here, you go to Business Center. If we go to, let's just close out of all these tabs. We don't need that anymore. Here we have the pixel ID. So we're just going to copy that. And in your Business Center that we've created here, let's close out of all these tabs. I just want to show you how you guys can add that pixel to your Business Manager suite as well. And we don't need any more of these. Let's come back here. So we've created our advertiser account, right? We've added it over here. And then if you want to go into pixels, you can also claim your pixel. So you add pixel, you enter that ID that I told you that we just copied from here, and we just say add. Let's say add again. And there you go, right? So you'll have all your details here, and you can come in here, link members, you can link partners. So if you want the member, ourselves, attached to it, we say here, we say we want permission to edit, and we hit assign. And there you go, that's all. So now you know how to use the Business Center Manager as well as your regular Events Manager and the advertising. So let's come in here now and start creating our TikTok ads campaign. I will see you in the next video. All right, so let's come in here and create our TikTok ads campaign. If you have been following along with me since the Google Ads and Facebook Ads modules and up from there in all the other sections in this module, then this should be second nature. It will be the exact same steps, just slightly different buttons. So we're going to click on campaign over here. And we're going to click on create. And again, over here, you have the campaign level, ad group level, ad level, same as with everything else that we've worked with before. So we're just going to go from top to bottom. So ideally, we want sales, right? We always want web conversions ideally. That is always the ultimate goal. We don't want to enable Smart Campaign. We want to create our ads ourselves, and we want to set the targeting ourselves. And then, of course, if you want to give TikTok more control after you start seeing the conversions, you see the results, you can go ahead and experiment with this. But I wouldn't start with this, especially as a beginner. So we're going to come down here. Let's give this a campaign name. Again, let's say cold, and let's say conversions. That's all there is to it really here. We can do campaign budget optimization, same as with Facebook ads. We're going to say, hey, we want to spend $100 on this campaign, and TikTok can allocate it to all the different ad groups. So we're going to leave it at that. We're going to click on continue. And that's it for the campaign. So now let's edit the ad group where you have all the targeting options. So we're going to leave this blank for now. Let's come in there and start setting up our targeting, and then we'll come back and rename our ad group. So we're going to select our pixel. What event do we want to optimize for? It's going to be the complete payout, right? The purchase. We're going to scroll down. We can select manual placement. I don't like to add it to Pangle and Global App Bundle. We only want to do it on TikTok. And we want to include search results because, as we saw, this is becoming more and more popular, right? So why not? Why not include search results if it's part of TikTok? Advanced settings, you can allow people to comment, allow people to download, allow people to share. Don't allow people to download. They can just take your video and then upload it, and then you're going to get reduced reach because somebody is going to watch other people's videos, right? So we don't want that unless you literally just want brand awareness and you want as many people to see the video, even if it's not coming from you. So, but for the most part, you guys are going to have that disabled. And then we're going to come back in here. So here you have the demographics. So let's suppose we want to target United States. And then you can target the age groups. So 18 to 55, we're going to leave it at that. You can target genders, you can target languages. So let's say we want English only. Spending power, this is pretty cool. So all means just everybody on TikTok, whoever meets your targeting criteria. High spending power means people that are more wealthy, so to speak. So people that have more money to invest, who TikTok knows to be spending a lot on purchases. So if you want to specifically target people for larger scale purchases, I definitely go with high spending power. But if you're selling like something small, like a shirt, like a $30 up to maybe $100 product, I just go with all. You can also sort by household income. You can say top 5% of zip codes in the US or top 25 to 50%. We're just going to leave it at all. Our product is $39.99, right? In our example, it's a basic small t-shirt, so we don't need the super wealthy to buy our products. So here you can add audiences. So once you create the audiences and the lookalikes, which we'll get to after this lesson, you can add them here. You can also exclude. So pretty straightforward stuff. Here you have the devices. Obviously, again, super simple. So this is the type of stuff that I can't come in here and tell you like, hey, you need to enable Wi-Fi, you need to enable Android or iOS. This will depend on your product. So if you are not sure whether this relates to you or not, then just leave it to all. If you have a specific product that only works on Android or only works on iOS, or you only want to target people that have Wi-Fi connected, then come in and do that. Otherwise, if you're not sure, just leave it to all, especially if you have smaller scale products. Like I said, up to maybe $100, $200, you can leave it to all. If you have larger scale products with a longer buying cycle, like a car, a house, then maybe you'd want to enable Wi-Fi because then you want people to buy your products when they're chilling, right? When they're more relaxed as opposed to when they're waiting in a coffee shop connected to their data. So our product is $40. We're going to leave it at all. And then I saved this for last. So here is how TikTok ads separates itself. So it's got all these different interest groups: purchase intention, video interactions, creator interactions. So people that interacted with these specific creators in these niches. People that interacted with specific types of videos, with specific purchase intention in these fields, with hashtag interactions. So at the bottom of every TikTok description, there's the hashtags that people put to be found. So you choose which one. Interests, specific interest groups. So interest groups is a bit broad. Let's go with purchase intention for this one. And we're promoting our digital marketing services. So again, it's kind of hard in this case to promote it here. There's no one specific niche that would be good for that. But let's suppose, let's say maybe business services. Let's see what they got here. Let's deselect everything and just see what they have. Business services. So marketing and advertising, we could try it. Might not make the most sense because these are already marketing channels, so they probably won't need our help. But just as an example, we're going to go with this option here. And then we can see here the reach is quite narrow here, it says, but that's okay. It's close to the middle. And also we have smart interests and behaviors enabled here. So this is going to expand the reach. So this is going to make it like a suggestion. So we want to start with this group. And then if there's no results, then TikTok ad is going to expand to other interests that they think are relevant to our product. So we could just leave it like this. Again, this is an example. This probably isn't the best interest group to target if we're promoting marketing services, but I wanted to put something rather than just leaving it at broad and just saying, just let TikTok do everything for you, because I want to show you that you can indeed target and have all these different interest groups. So we're going to come in here and let's rename this. And let's just come back and see. I think we said, for example, TikTok only, right? We said US 18 plus, US 18 plus, and then we're going to add our interest group. Spending power we want to mention as well, by the way, because these are things that we'll be testing. So all SP, spending power, and marketing and advertising, right? Is that what it was? Yes. And then what you could also do, if you don't want to just memorize this or just go from top to bottom, is you can come in here, click on template, and then you can add, and you can say, for example, okay, I want the language here, I want my age here, and I want my, I don't know, in general, I want my bid strategy. And then this will just pre-populate for you here with this template. You can save it as a template, and then you can use it for all of your different campaigns. But this doesn't have most of the information that we need. Like we need the specific targeting, right? So I like to just keep it like this, pretty simple, pretty straightforward, and then use this template for everything else. So we're gonna scroll down. We're good with that one. We're good with the ad group. Now I believe it's time for the ads. Let's come down, the budget, $100 start time right now, that's fine, all day. Conversion goal, maximum delivery, attribution setting. Again, you should be familiar with all this, with what this means. So if somebody buys 8 days after clicking on our ad, then that will not be considered a conversion because, well, we're saying too much time has passed. But if somebody buys within 7 days, then that will be considered a conversion. View through is the same thing, but instead of a click, it's a view. When somebody views the ad and then buys, do we want to consider that as a conversion? Well, the maximum is 1 day. So that's fine, we'll do that. Event count here in this case for purchase, we want to do every, right? Because our goal here is purchases. So we do want to count every purchase. If one person makes 10 purchases, yeah, we want to see 10 conversions. So we're going to leave it at every, everything else looks good. Let's click continue. And now it's time for the fun stuff for our ad. So we'll give it a second to load. We're going to keep this disabled again, and then we're going to make the ad, and then we're going to come in here and give this a name. So the first option here you see is the TikTok Spark ads. TikTok Spark ads are basically organic ads. They're like Facebook page post engagement, where you can connect your ads to your profile. So you're going to have your TikTok video on your profile or on somebody else's profile. If you enable this, you can also target by other brands. And then other brands can basically give you permission to post via their brand. So that's what this is. So this is a good way to organically reach an audience. Not only will you see the results inside just the organic reach, especially if you're paying other influencers, but you will also be able to promote that ideally profitable ad. So we don't have any posts, right? We don't have any TikTok account integrated here. So we're just going to disable this. But if you do have a TikTok account, this is a great way to organically promote your content, even though it will still say sponsored. So don't get me wrong, it will still say sponsored, but it's going to be coming from your actual feed, right? From your actual profile. So we're going to have to set a custom identity here. So we're going to enter a display name, let's say Dynamic Growth Agency, and then we would add our little custom image. So I'm going to come in here and add our logo. Let's click save. And there you go. So that's going to show up there on the right. So we're going to click on create. And there you go. And now we want the ad creative. So we want the videos or images. So we're going to create videos, obviously. We have the text, we have the different call to actions. So we can let TikTok try and see which call to action works the best. Now, in our case, not all of them make sense. So read more doesn't make sense. View more doesn't make sense. Order now might make sense depending on whether you're selling something that could be ordered. You know, all of these, none of these make sense. Let's select the ones that do. So actually, we could have just deselected everything. And then let's add, for example, we could test contact us versus get quote versus, let's see if there's anything else that can make sense. Maybe check it out and learn more. Okay. So we can let TikTok test out of all the different ad networks that we've tried, all the 4 or 5 so far, none of them had the option to split test call to action. So this is something cool and unique to TikTok. Okay, so we have the URL. So let's just come in here and let's start off with the video. So you can click on create new, and TikTok can actually help create the content for you, which is pretty cool. So you can download all your images here and they can make video out of that. And you can add subtitles, you can add music. So they really do a good job of editing. In general, TikTok ads are a little more complicated than the general ads. You do need to take the time to create a good video. So just doing something like this, generally for the most part, won't be enough. So what we're going to do is, again, we're just going to head over into canva.com, our good buddy. And normally, I'd recommend other resources. I'm going to link them just below this video that you can use to create good, high quality videos for TikTok, or people that you can hire to do them for you, because just using Canva isn't going to be enough. As I mentioned, TikTok is has to be very engaging, right? The clip changes every half a second, basically. So ideally, that's something you want to do as well. So I'm going to enter my password here. And now we're going to come in and create our video for TikTok, at least as an example. So we have this LinkedIn one. Let's come in here, click on more, and we'll type in TikTok. We're going to look for a video ad. So add TikTok video is going to be the opposite dimension. So it's going to be 1 by 2 as opposed to 2 by 1, basically. It's going to be like this. And then you can just type in whatever you want. Again, they do a really good job. These aren't amazing videos for TikTok. I still think they have to be much more engaging. But it's a good place to start, at least for us, just to get the ball rolling. So we're going to type in digital marketing. Let's see what comes up. 5 hacks. That's cool. Keep hustling to the finish line. That's pretty cool. Digital marketing agency. That's kind of flashy. Shows up like that. Maximize your reach. Yeah, so that's not bad. It's not bad at all. Just for us to get started. I would like something with a video though, maybe. Let's see if we can do something with the video. Turn your dream business into reality. A really great site. Yeah, that could work. Okay, so maybe something like this. Let's do that. And then this is just a video that we're going to be using on TikTok. Okay, so something that's a little engaging. Let's maybe add our logo. Let's delete that. Let's go into upload. Grab our logo. Add it here. Unlock the power of digital marketing. Let's not say it will increase your business sales this week. Maybe something like that. Our marketing will, let's say. Our marketing will double your sales. Let's do that. Will double your sales this week. There's no bold for this font, huh? Okay. And then let's come in here. This week only. Sure, we can leave it. Get our 2 marketing SEO bundle. Let's say maybe contact us now for a free quote. And then we're just going to link the URL in the ad itself. Okay. So maybe something like this just for starters. Not perfect. It's got to be more engaging, but just so we can get the ball rolling. And then, TikTok ads, ad creation is a whole other science. So that will probably be another whole video of how to create good, high converting TikTok ads. I'm trying to center this. Yeah, that doesn't really look centered. Let's just leave it like that. I think that looks about right. And we could use a different font. I think this one is a little hard to read. Let's look at this. Poppins. I'd have to do some research for that. So actually, let me just go back to what it was. I think that looks good. I just wish we could have bolded it, but that's okay for now. We can at least underline it. Okay. All right. So let's use this as our ad. So here's what it's going to look like. Oops. Okay. So just some to engage people a little bit. Let's download it. HD format. Let's download it. And now we're just going to come back here. And now we can add it here. So we're just going to wait a second. And by the way, for this one, because that doesn't look good, Dynamic Growth Agency, let's come in here and let's just add some spaces here. Dynamic Growth Agency. Even though it's a little confusing, it seems like it has to be all together, but that works just fine. So we're going to add videos. I'm going to click here and I'm going to upload. And we're just going to come in here and drag this in there. This time it works. It's going to analyze it, ready to upload, and we're going to hit upload and confirm. So for TikTok, you should also do a lot more split tests for the video itself, because with TikTok, there's barely any text, right? This is the only text you see, 100 characters. So TikTok is all visual. So instead of testing different headlines and all the different text variations and descriptions, I'd instead text video. So like in Facebook, we have 12 ad variations. So I would have 6 to 12 different video variations, for example. And then for the text ad, we can say, let us manage your digital marketing while you take a break and focus on what matters. Okay, and then that's going to show up over there. Let's manage your digital marketing. Okay. And then what else do we need? So they have these additional add-ons to your ad. So we can come in here, for example, and create this. And it's going to add this little bar there at the bottom. You see with the little extra button. So we can generate automatically content, or we can just leave it like that. We can add additional information here. So we can add the little image there. We could add a selling point, for example, done for you service or money back guarantee, something like that. And let's suppose we want to add an image. I just came in here and just added this logo here. So if you want to do that, maybe white one would have been better, but that's okay. Just click continue. And now we'll have this little bar there show up. And so now it's just a little bit more attractive. And then next you can take people to a TikTok page, or you can take people to the URL, which is what we're looking for. So let's come in here, let's grab our website, let's say the contact us page. Let's grab that. Let's paste it here. And now we want to add the UTM parameters, URL parameters, UTM parameters, same thing. So I don't see a term here. So let's come in here and add also UTM term. And now we can come in here and add all this stuff. So campaign source, that's going to be TikTok, right? Campaign medium here, we can say placement. Campaign content is going to be the ad. So the ad name here, ad ID name. Campaign name, that's going to be the campaign name, the name of the campaign. And then UTM term, it can be the creative ID name. So for UTM term, that's going to be the CID name. So we're just going to come in here, we're going to copy that, paste it here. And this one's going to be CID name. Oops, that was an accident. And then that's what it's going to look like. So question mark, UTM source, TikTok, medium placement, UTM content, ad ID, campaign is the campaign name, and UTM term, the creative ID name. Okay, so we're going to click apply. And there you go. So we've added all that. You could add a disclaimer if you want. It's just going to show up at the bottom there below that ad. So if you add it here, you can say, for example, buyer beware, and then, it's going to say that, or you can make it clickable. So people have to click on it, tap on details on what it is you want to say. Tap for details on this, and then you can also add a URL, which is going to take people to, let's say, your privacy policy text. Okay, so you can do that. We don't have anything right now, but that is what you would do. So this ad does not contain AI generated content, so we don't have to enable that. We do authorize the ad and associated performance to be displayed on TikTok, and that is it. So the app events, we don't have any apps, so don't worry about that. Don't worry about the click tracking URL. Everything is here set up. And then if we play the ad, it's going to look like this. We can replay. Something like that, right? So that's going to be an ad. And yeah, that's how you create a TikTok ad. So let's name this, let's say, marketing double sales, for example. What else are we doing here? Text, or let's say text, manage your ads, manage your marketing. Okay. And then we're going to hit publish. And that should pretty much be it for the campaign here. And that is how you create these TikTok ads campaigns. So I'm just going to come in here and enter the billing information, and then this campaign should be up and running. All right, so I've added the payment, and now it's just creating the ad. And remind me to pause it. I keep forgetting to pause ads, and then as I show you how to do this for every network, I just end up having to pay. So let's go back to the campaigns. And that should be it. Congratulations. All right, and now it says account is under review. That's fine, but yeah, so that's the ad, that's the campaign, called conversions. We click on that, we get taken to the ad group, and then we get taken to the ads. And then over here, again, you see the column. So same as with any other platform, you should be no stranger to this. You can click on custom columns, and you can add what you want. So of course, we want the sales. So we're gonna come in here, we're gonna say conversions. Okay, so that's already added in here, but if there's anything you do wanna add, you can just look for it. Same as with Facebook. And then you can save it as a preset column, the conversions column. And yeah, so if we scroll to the right, we see the CPM, impressions, clicks, conversions, cost per conversion, conversion rate. That's good. And then if we want to add the ROAS, let's come in here. I always like to see the ROAS. We're just going to select that one right over here. We're going to say the total, if it doesn't lag so much. There you go. And then we're going to save this as a, for example, conversions, exactly same as we did with Facebook. And there you go. So nothing much else for me to show you here. You have the columns, you have the campaign. If you want to test anything, delete anything, you can turn it off, like over here. I don't want to pay. And then you go into ad groups and you can just copy it. Come in here and copy it to this existing campaign, do one copy, and then you would copy it successfully. And then you would come in there to that copied version, and then you would change. You would change your variables. You could make it broad. You can change the demographics. And then you would publish that campaign, and that's how you would test it. So over here, you would come in and just change this around, and then you would have the two different versions. So let me come in here and pause this campaign as well. And that should be all. Congratulations. You should now know how to set up the conversion tracking, how to set up the campaign in TikTok, how to create the account. And I will see you in the next video as we create our audiences. All right, so last but not least, let's create our audiences so that as you start driving traffic to TikTok ads, you will be able to remarket then to these people. So we're going to go into tools, go into audience manager. And same as with the other networks, you will be able to retarget based on people who interacted with your content. So that is definitely a very powerful tool. So we're going to click on create audience. We cannot do a lookalike audience unless we have a custom audience, but you should already be familiar with what a lookalike audience is. So it's going to be the exact same process as with Facebook ads or Pinterest ads, for example. So we'll click on custom audience, and here you can again sort by people who have engaged with your content, people who have interacted with your website, who followed or interacted with your business account, shop activities, so on and so forth. And of course, your customer file, which is super, super important. If you can upload your list of contacts, this is going to be very powerful, a very powerful remarketing list. So in this case, let's see if we can do something here with people who interacted with our content. So we can choose our ad group. We're going to select video ads here. And for the action, we can say people that viewed what percentage of the video. Who do we want to add as our list? So people who just viewed our ad, for example, or people who clicked, or people who viewed at least 6 seconds, so on and so forth. So we just want impression. We just want people that have viewed our content in the last, let's say, 90 days. So we're going to come back in here. Let's name this. So let's say viewed ads. Let's say 90 days, just viewed. And then we do want to refresh the audience. We don't want to add audience enhancement. I'm going to link you an article for what that is. It does say recommended, but you need at least a few thousand in spend before this can be accurate. If you're not sending any traffic, then this will not be accurate at all. So keep it off until you get a few, let's say $3,000 to $4,000+ of spend in your campaigns. Reach and frequency, so don't enable this. This is going to limit you and make you require a higher audience list before you can actually use the audience list. So we don't want this unless we actually want to run these reach and frequency retargeting campaigns. So we're going to keep that off as well. And everything else looks pretty good. So we're going to click on confirm. And there you go. So we have this audience list now being created. So let's now create an audience of people who bought. So we'll click on custom audience. We'll click on website traffic. And then instead of page view, we want to select complete payment, right? So we're going to remove that, and that's it. So people who bought, who completed payment according to our pixel data in the past 90 days. We don't have to enter the URLs or parameters here. Although if you want, you can say here, for example, people who placed an order of more than $100, for example, where the value is over $100. So you can create an audience list of those, but we're going to remove that. Just not going to have anything. And you can also exclude people. So once we do the cart abandoners list, we can come in here and we could say, hey, we want to exclude people that have purchased, right? We want to include people that cart abandoned and exclude people that purchased. So we'll do that here. For the audience name here, we can just say buyers 90 days. Add a little space. We're going to keep everything else as is, as with the other audience. And then, yeah, that is all. We'll click confirm. So pretty simple here. And then we can create the audience list for everything else. And once again, same as with the other networks, you can go with 45 days, or they don't have 45, but you can go with 30 days, 60 days, 180 days, right? So you can create a buyer's list of all these different days. You don't have to just go with 90. So for this one, for example, we said initiate checkout in the past, let's say the cart abandoners, let's say in the past 14 days. Yeah, so they don't have 45 days here, but you get the idea. Through this pixel. Don't worry about that. And then we're going to exclude people who bought. Remove that. Complete payment. In the past, let's say 30 days. So we don't touch those people who actually bought in the past month, right? We don't want to annoy them. Through the following pixel. Don't worry about the URLs. And then here we're going to say cart abandoners is going to be 14 days. And then we can say 30 days buyers. For more details, everything else looks good. Looks good. So people that initiate checkout, but people who did not complete the purchase. We're going to click confirm. Let's create a few more. Let's do the leads now. So not page view. Our lead, I believe, was submit form, right? That's what we said. Submit form, let's say 60 days. Through our pixel here. Don't worry about any of that. Leads, 60 days. Okay, that looks about right. Let's click on confirm. And then let's do one more audience list of people that have clicked the phone call button, right? So people who called. So it's going to be website traffic. And this event was named contact. That's what we called our event in the past, let's say 30 days. So we're going to say callers, 30 days. That's it. Okay, so that's the beauty of installing this pixel, is that we can just target the event. We don't have to enter the URLs as we do in some networks. And that's all. We're going to click on continue. And congratulations, you've created all these custom audiences. You are welcome to create more. You can do colors, like I said, 60 days, colors 180 days. Just keep creating these different lists. And then once you retarget, the same way we did with Facebook, we can target by days. So callers and leads and, let's say, viewed ads in the past 30 days. And then we can create another campaign for the people in the past 60 days and another campaign in the people in the past 90 days. And then we can exclude those people. So if we're doing 90 days, we'd be excluding people in 60 days if we run all those different campaign types, right? So that's pretty much it. Hopefully you found this section helpful with TikTok ads. Hopefully this gave you a very good idea of how to set up conversion tracking, how to set up the audiences, how to set up the campaign, and just give you a general layout, the lay of the land for TikTok ads. So you should be no stranger to TikTok ads now once you come in and create your campaign. So I hope that was helpful. I will see you in the next section.
And that is all for this TikTok ads tutorial. Hopefully you guys found value. If you liked this video, I invite you to check out my other videos on YouTube at youtube.com/ivanmana. I have over 700 videos now related to online marketing, everything from building a website, setting up tracking, email marketing, paid ads, you name it. I also invite you to get my free 7-day online marketing starter plan on my website at ivanmana.com, along with other resources and free tools. That said, thank you guys for watching. I will see you in the next video.